everyone. As you know, Jeff has been poorly today. Really weird because on Sunday he just came out with this really heavy cold. You know when your eyes are just completely full, and nose and everything. And I thought, oh, here we go. And then he went to bed for 5 hours and then woke up. It must have been about 5 o'clock, and then he seemed a lot better, and that was fine. And then Monday he was kind of okay, a bit sniffy, and then yesterday was a bit sniffy, but then went to bed last night, woke up this morning, and this is how bad he was. He couldn't even go to the gym today. So so he's not been to the gym. I woke him up about 10. He stayed in bed till, gosh, he only came down about 5 o'clock tonight. So about 2ish he woke up and just laid in bed and watched telly. But yeah, so he's not been great. He's all right. He's just got a really heavy cold. And we've had a bit of stress the last few days in the house, like everybody does. And I always think that makes it worse. That brings stuff on. So as much as we can, we like to try and avoid the stress because it does impact on Jeff, obviously. So I thought that because there was no videos tonight, that I would do a little question and answer, because there's lots of things that you probably want to know about us, me, Jeff, all of us, that you perhaps don't know already. Some of it may have been covered in previous videos, but obviously not everyone watches them. So I'm just going to turn my volume down on my computer because it keeps binging all the time. Sounds like we're on an aeroplane. So I've got a big list in front of me and on the back as well. So I'm going to try and answer them. If I can, I shall answer them all for you. So first question was, lots of people did repeat questions as well. So I'm not going to sort of say everybody's names that ask questions, because there's lots of repeated questions. But the first one that I came across was, how did Jeff and I meet? Well, Jeff and I met on Facebook back in December 2007. Facebook was quite different then, and I was quite new to Facebook, so I wasn't really sure how it worked, but there was lots of different apps that you could use and go on and stuff. And you might remember that Zeus was one of them. It was a dating app, but I'm not sure, but I think Zeus might be a separate website. It's not on Facebook anymore. But there was an app on there called Flirtable. Some of you who are as old as me might remember that. You put your picture on there and you just scroll through, say what you're looking for, scroll through. If you like the look of someone, you hit the heart button. Probably a bit like, what's it called? Tinder. Probably a bit like Tinder, that kind of thing. And then if that person likes you back, then obviously you can start talking, and that's exactly what happened. My friend was round here at the time. Jeff popped up, amazing picture of Jeff on a boat. Obviously you pick the best picture, don't you, for things like that. Looking all tanned and muscly with his sunglasses on, and he had tattoos, and he was bald, and he was just my kind of guy. So I thought, nothing to lose, and I said to my friend, he's never going to come back to me. And he did. And it kind of went from there. That was it. Was it love at first sight, someone said. Do you know what? This is a really funny story, right? Because Jeff and I spoke for ages. Well, it actually wasn't ages. It feels like ages. But so we met, I think it was the 30th of December 2007. And we chatted for a while online. And we used to talk over webcam and all that kind of stuff. And then we actually met on the 22nd of March 2008. That's when we actually met face to face. And so we met at Toddington service station, and I'll never forget it, because Jeff got out of the car and I think he must have had a nervous belly, because he went, I need the toilet, and I said, what, you need a shit? And he just couldn't believe that I said it, because that's just proper Essex, isn't it? That's just, I don't know, that's what I do, who I am. So I just say it how it is. And he never forgets it, and he always used to bring it up. And so he went to the toilet, and then we decided, right, we can't stay in the service station. So we drove to Luton and went in a pub. And I must admit, initially, for me, it wasn't love at first sight, not face-to-face love at first sight. But this is it's quite shallow really, but so we sat and chatted in a pub, and Jeff was really touchy-feely. Jeff's a really tactile person, and I'm not, although I wasn't then. So we sat in this pub, and Jeff had a jumper on, and then I went and got a drink, came back, and it got a bit hot in there, so Jeff took the jumper off, and then it was love at first sight, because I thought, wow, okay, I could get to kind of like you quite a lot. So yeah, I suppose in some ways, yeah, it was love at first sight, really. And I know that sounds really shallow, but that's how it was. It's just a funny story, and we always remember it. Someone said, when did you notice Jeff was ill? Jeff wasn't ill before he had his stroke. There were no signs. He came home on the 27th of March. He walked the dogs, he had something to eat, he went outside for about an hour to clear his van out, we sat down, we watched telly, and then he went to bed, and that was it. So he wasn't ill beforehand at all. Someone wants to know, when will we have a holiday as a family, because they think we really need it and deserve it, and I agree, we do need one, we really do. At the moment I'm reluctant, because obviously we need to get him to a level of fitness before we can start doing things like that. And I am a little bit wary about stepping out of my comfort zone with him, because obviously we've had blips along the way, when he had his seizures and stuff like that, and now he's got a cold. So I'm just a little bit wary of being, like, normally Jeff and I would want to go somewhere really remote and do lots of walking and stuff, and just shut yourself away by a fire and, you know, just be with each other, but that's not something I feel I can do right now. But we will have a family holiday, because we all do really need it, so hopefully sometime this year. My mum and dad did want to go away at Christmas, but we felt it was too early. But I don't know, maybe we'll do that this year. Maybe we'll go at Christmas this year and not buy any presents, and just go away and just have a week away. It'd be really nice. How do you say stay strong? How does anyone stay strong? I'm not unique. I fully believe, God forbid, if anything like this happened to any of you, you'd do the same. You would. I'm nothing special. I'm really not. I think it's Jeff that keeps me strong. I think his recovery keeps me strong. I think his positivity keeps me strong. We're quite yin and yang, me and Jeff, so we've always bounced off each other really well. Sorry, I'm fiddling. I always fiddle when I'm doing these videos. So yeah, we've always bounced off each other really well. So I think, to be honest, if I'm really honest, we probably do get our strength from each other. You just find it, you just do, and anyone will tell you the same. You just have to. You have no choice, and you're doing it for the person that you love, so it makes it easier in a way. How do I find the strength and patience to carry on day after day? You must get fed up at times. Do you know what? I really don't get fed up. I get fed up with the external things, you know, like if something goes wrong, like when we had a windy weekend, and the fence blew down at the back in the garden, and the neighbour over there is quite new, so he wasn't sure whose fence it was, and I said, it's your fence, and there was a bit of discrepancy over whose it was, but I managed to find my plans to show him that it was his fence. But in the meantime, I did have a little mini meltdown about it, because it just gets too much. The extra things on top get too much. But I don't ever get fed up with Jeff, ever. I really, really don't. Because you see him and he makes you laugh. Well, that's what he does with me all day, every day, most of the time. But, you know, there's the odd time you kind of think, oh, ooh. But it's really few and far between. Really, really few and far between. So no, I don't get fed up. Does my old support worker role help has it helped with organisation, patience and support? Yeah, probably. I mean, obviously, most of you will know I had to give up my job, and I'd been in my job for over 9 years. I loved my job. So I worked for the Essex Child and Family Wellbeing Service, which was previously a Sure Start Children's Centre, and I'd been there a long while. So I was a family support worker. Used to help families with parenting, healthy eating, domestic violence. Used to sit in child protection conferences and stuff like that. So I loved it, and yeah, I think it probably has helped me, because you do have to have a lot of patience in a job like that. So I think, yeah, I never used to be a very patient person, though, I have to say. I was at work, but probably not at home. But I've learned patience very quickly. You have to. So yeah, I think that has helped massively. Do I have time for myself? It depends, really, because I don't really want time for myself. This is the thing. This is it's hard to explain, but I'm living with my best friend, and I'm with him all day, every day. I don't feel like I really need loads of time to myself. But I do, obviously I go to the hairdressers every 6 weeks to get the grey roots done. I have no choice really, but I don't have my nails done, I don't go for massages, I don't do anything like that. And I'm fine with that. I think in time to come, maybe I'll go back to yoga and do bits and pieces like that, but I'm all right. I really don't feel like I need time away. Look, people have said to me about putting Jeff in respite. Oh my God, that would be my worst nightmare, and it would definitely be Jeff's worst nightmare too. So, no, I don't need time away that badly. Yes, Jeff is from Birmingham, and originally from Birmingham. He's been in Essex for 12 years now. And what made him move to Essex? Me. Well, I didn't make him move to Essex. Obviously, he wanted to be with me, and I had 3 children and a house, so it just made sense. But I'll tell you a little funny story about that, because I'd gone up to visit Jeff one weekend, and my mum and dad had the kids, and we'd gone out drinking and got a little bit drunk, and decided to give each other a piggyback. And Jeff gave me a piggyback, and it was fine. And then I said to him, "Jump on my back." So he did, and I kind of dropped him on his coccyx. And so he did his back in, and because he couldn't go to work, that was the week that he decided to come down to me and decided to try and find a job, because that was a stipulation. If you're going to move down, you need to find a job, obviously, because you can't just move down and live off nothing. So that's kind of how it happened, really. And I still laugh about that. It's weird. Does Jeff have siblings and a mum and dad? Jeff has 2 brothers and a sister, and Jeff's dad passed away about 20 years ago, and yes, he does have his mum still. They live in Birmingham. Are you planning on renewing your wedding vows? Maybe. Would be nice too. Anything special for Valentine's Day? No. This is the weird thing, my life when I was married before, my life used to revolve around things like that, and I used to get really upset if I didn't get roses or a card or that kind of thing. But then when I met Jeff, he kind of taught me, actually, you need to treat somebody as a Valentine every day, not just on Valentine's Day. So every day was kind of special and still is special. So although we do get each other a card, we never go over the top on Valentine's Day, birthdays, Christmases, anything like that, because we can do that any day. So and I love that about Jeff. I love that he's changed my way of thinking about that, because I used to think it was all about hearts and flowers, and it really isn't. What is the one most important thing or person that keeps you sane? Oh gosh, I don't know. I actually don't know. Obviously, Vic is my best friend, and I met her through Jeff's journey early on in the very early days. And I've got a couple of other friends, they keep me sane as well. But I don't know, I think just Jeff being well and doing well in his recovery, that keeps me sane. That's all I need. I don't ever feel like I'm going mad or anything like that. But yeah, Vic's always there to kind of rein me back in and help me. So I'm so grateful that I've met her through Jeff's journey. And a couple of my other mates as well have been really, really awesome and supportive. So yeah, so that's how I stay sane, really. Do I have brothers and sisters? I have one brother. He is 4 years older than me, so he is coming up for 53. He lives in Thailand, and he has been with his girlfriend for years and years and years. He did a little bit of travelling around the world when he was younger, and he's finally settled in Thailand, so he's been there for absolutely years. So he's got a daughter called Meadow, and she's younger than Georgie, but she's about 3 years younger than Georgie. So she's lovely. We don't get to see them much, but when they do come over, it's nice. How do you stay composed and strong? Do I? I didn't know I did stay composed. Again, it's just Jeff and you guys. Like, you guys seriously don't. This is where you need to be told. You guys seriously don't realise how strong you keep me. I know you sometimes feel like you're watching a show, and I know lots of people said, oh, like, it's better than telly and you're always talking about us and stuff like that, and that is so amazing. But never ever, seriously ever underestimate the power of what you guys do, because Jeff's Journey supporters have been a massive game changer, hugely. I don't know what I would have done without you all. I really don't, and because I'm the main kind of one that's on here all the time, and Vic goes on here a lot, and Paige is on here quite a bit, but the other two don't go on that much. But yeah, for me, it's you guys, definitely, that have seen me through, and you know, you bring me back down to reality when I'm having a little blip. So I thank you, all of you, for that, because you are amazing, really amazing. Has it been difficult to get the right support from local authority charities? Yeah, do you know the one thing I was thinking about the other day, because obviously our long-term plans for Jeff's Journey would be to become a charity so that we can, like, help others. And the one thing, because I became an ambassador for A Stroke of Luck, Stroke of Luck's quite a new charity that started last year, that aims to raise money to help stroke survivors recover physically. So they provide them with like credits to access personal training, because obviously personal, physical training impacts, in a positive way on your mental health. So I think what they do is absolutely amazing. I think it's a brilliant idea. So I don't want to repeat that. And we help people every day, which is really weird. So why not do it through a charity? And one thing I have really noticed that's really impacted on us as a family is the psychology. That's very, very lacking. We were fortunate enough to have access to a psychologist in rehab, but obviously there's a lot of people don't go to rehab. They don't have that access or that service, or sometimes they don't need that access or service. But psychology is so important, because actually Jeff came home and they go, right, there you go, there he is, we've done our bit, you crack on. Okay, so you're learning a whole new life again, and actually you need someone to mediate that. It's really important. So we were on the waiting list for psychology. I don't know how many sessions we get. It is through the NHS, and we've got our first appointment at the end of February, but that's not good enough. It's 5 months after Jeff's been home, and actually, if we weren't as strong as we are, we could have all really fallen apart. I can see how families do, and it's terrible. It's just tragic that is allowed to happen. So my vision would be to raise funds for others to access those services that they're not lucky enough to have, or that they desperately need. That's what I envisage Jeff's Journey to be, and hopefully that won't take long to get there. but yeah, in answer to your question, it's not great. It's a postcode lottery. It depends where you live. The services post stroke aren't great. I say they aren't great. They are great, but they're just not long enough. That's the thing. And when someone's had a stroke, if you're not lucky enough to go to rehab, in neuro rehab like Jeff was, and you come home and you get one visit a week from a physio, how is that going to help anybody? It's really not. Jeff would never in a million years be able to recover to the point he has if that's all he had. He just wouldn't. So that's really important too. Do I get time for myself? Yeah, well, I do. A lot of my time's spent on Jeff's journey, because obviously it's got so big now. It's over 80,000 followers, so you do have to be on it. But yeah, my time for myself is like, it's weird because it's like I might go to bed and Jeff will go to sleep, and then I'll sit on my phone for a bit, or during the day if he's having a rest, I'll come in the study and I'll sit and catch up on Jeff's journey. So yeah, I do have time for myself, but perhaps not in the way that you kind of think. Most romantic gift. Do you know what? Jeff is not a romantic. Jeff is so thoughtful. He's such a thoughtful person, but I wouldn't say he's romantic. He's very tactile. He likes people to know that you're his. He likes to hold your hand and kiss you in public and all that sort of thing, but he's not romantic as in gift-wise, but he's very thoughtful. So I would say, I don't know, thinking about it, like Jeff used to write a lot of poems for me and they were so cute. And he used to write them really well, so that was lovely. And then obviously Jeff had his tattoo done on his arm, which I wrote for him, which says, "Once I dropped a tear into the ocean, the day I find it again will be the day that I stop loving you, because to the world you are one person, but to me you are the world." And he had that tattooed on his arm, so that means a lot to me. Was I ever told that Jeff would not make it? Yeah. Yeah. I suppose you can never say never, but yeah, he was surprised. They were surprised that he pulled through. So Jeff was transferred from local hospital to Queen's. He was blue lighted to Queen's Neuro in Romford, and he got there about midnight. But because his brain had swollen so much, he was actually resuscitated on arrival. So yeah, he nearly didn't make it. And they still, I can remember asking them in critical care, like, do people like Jeff actually ever come out? Do they come out of critical care? And I remember the doctor saying to me, some do and some don't. So yeah, you hang on a knife edge all the time. So yeah. Jeff's prognosis, will he make a full recovery? Nobody can tell you. This is the thing with brain injury and brain damage, like nobody can tell you. All I can tell you is Jeff has completely defied every single odd. And yes, I consider that we are quite, I know it sounds weird, considering we nearly lost him and the damage that he has. It sounds weird to say it, but I actually feel really lucky because he can talk. He's been left with aphasia, and I nearly said he's just been left with aphasia then, because I shouldn't say that. It's not just aphasia. Obviously it does affect reading, writing and communicating and word finding and all of that, and that's a really big issue, and that takes hard work to get that back. But he has defied every single odd so far, and I fully believe, what are we, 10 months post-stroke, and I fully believe that he will make, as near as damn it, full recovery. He won't probably ever be exactly like Jeff again, because how can you be? Because part of that brain is dead. So all of that area that's damaged, that made you that person that you were, it's gone. But he's not far off. This is why I feel so lucky, because he really isn't far off. He's not aggressive, he doesn't get angry, he gets frustrated, but not aggressively. He's determined, he's motivated, he's not a problem at all. He's lovey-dovey, he still thinks about me all the time. like, he really hasn't changed, and we are so blessed for that, because it could have been so much worse. So yeah, I do feel blessed. So, because someone asked whether he'll get his hand and arm back again. I don't know. I mean, arms take such a long time to come back. They're notorious for taking a long time to come back. Legs come back a lot quicker if they're going to come back. Arms do take a lot more work because they're quite sensory. So when you have a stroke, obviously there's a large part of your brain that has that sensory area, and that affects obviously movement in the arm. If I gave you an item to feel it with your toes, you wouldn't probably be able to tell me what it was using your toes if you had your eyes shut. But if I gave it in your hands, you would probably be able to tell me what it was, or at least have a guess at it. So that shows you how sensory our hands are. But he's not paralysed. We have muscle contraction in the arm. We have muscle movement. We have arm movement. We have We've just started to get finger movement when Jeff does this, when he's laying down. So let's hope so, but who knows? I don't know. I mean, it's looking good at the moment. How do I relax? Again, I suppose I don't really, but I do in my own little way. But I don't relax as in I'm quite into like alternative medicines, and like I used to do a lot of meditation and yoga and all that kind of stuff, and hypnosis, because I am a hypnotherapist, so I used to kind of do a lot of that. But actually what I find really relaxing is massaging Jeff at night. So I massage his affected arm, yeah, I do find that really relaxing. I enjoy that. Did Jeff lose any friends after his stroke? No, but I kind of feel like I have. It's weird, like the people you thought would be there haven't been, and it's probably only 3 or 4 that have really kind of been with me the whole step, the whole way, and the ones that you thought would sort of come around and see you and stuff like that, they haven't. But that's what happens in life, and people say that. It sounds cliche at the time, but it's true. You do that happens, and you move on and you find other friends, don't you? So, but a lot of Jeff's friends were either partners of my friends, or some of his friends were back in Birmingham, so he never really obviously saw them that much anyway. Sarah asked, did I buy the bras? Yeah, I did buy the bras. How could I get away without buying the bras? We went to Chelmsford and I got my eyebrows waxed, threaded on Saturday, and Jeff was insistent I went into Marks and Spencer's, so we went up there and I found a £20 Marks and Spencer's gift voucher in my purse, which I don't even know, it must have been around since Jesus was a boy, because it literally was, I don't remember getting it. So that was a bonus. So yeah, I bought 4 bras, so I only had to pay 16 quid, which I paid out of my Christmas money that Mum and Dad gave me. So Jeff was chuffed to bits, and he wasn't going to let me forget it either. Is Jeff good at buying gifts? Yeah, Jeff is good buying gifts, but he tends to buy them throughout the year rather than like, oh my god, yes. How many years ago was it? Wasn't Christmas just gone? It must have been the Christmas before. No, or the one before that. He bought me Ed Sheeran tickets, and he did pay a lot of money for them, because you know what these concerts like, they all get sold out, but he paid a lot of money for them, and he bought me Ed Sheeran tickets, and oh my god, I was absolutely in tears. So yeah, I had no idea that he was getting them for me. So, and he's done things like I remember one Valentine's Day he took me on, we went Segway, like, you know, them things you stand on and ride around the woods. I came off. I actually really hurt myself. But Jeff will do things like that, and then I'll moan about it because that's a boyish thing to do, and I go, why didn't you take me to a spa instead? But you know, like, we do look back and laugh. We've had some fun times like that. Does someone do the cleaning? Oh, I wish. But 2 reasons really. One is because I don't think I could stand anyone else doing my cleaning, because I don't think anyone ever does it how you do. I'm not a Mrs. Hinch, trust me, but I still know how I like things. And the other reason is money, really. Obviously, being on benefits and that we can't afford it, so it's just extra money. So I do try and fit the cleaning in as and when, but I have learned to manage it better. So one day I'll do downstairs and the next day I'll do upstairs, because if I do it all in one go it's just too much, and then I get too tired. What are you raising money for? So we're raising money for, Jeff's currently got a personal trainer and he's neurologically trained, so that's more ideal and suited to Jeff, because obviously he will know Jeff's needs better. So Jeff now goes to the gym. Our local gym are so supportive and have been brilliant with Jeff, and meeting his needs, and financially and that, they've been amazing with Jeff. But obviously we have to pay for his personal trainer. Jeff has a speech and language therapist as well, but these things are not like short term, they need to be long term, and this is the thing, it's not like a boot camp where you might go for a week or 2 or 6 week program and then your butt's looking how you want it to look. That's not how it works. So they're the two main therapies. The other therapy I would like him to have, the occupational therapist that he saw when he came out of rehab, she's actually an upper limb specialist as well, so she does do private work. So I would like to be able to pay her privately to work on Jeff's arm, because the more we can do now the better. Sooner we can get it going to functional use, the more chance he's got of getting it back. So they're the kind of the 3 main therapies, and then you've got other things like I was looking into hyperbaric oxygen therapy, which is where you sit in an oxygen chamber and oxygen is released at 100%, and you sit there for an hour, and it's thought to increase all those red blood cells, because when we breathe in, we don't breathe pure oxygen, but when you sit in a chamber you do breathe in pure oxygen. It's thought to help you cognitively and physically as well. So we're lucky we've got the only tank in Essex about 12 miles away from us. So that's something I was looking into. But the thing is with it is you have to have it. Well, if you had it every day, it wouldn't be too much. They're not open every day down there. So I think you have to have it like 4 times a week. But obviously that's not cheap either. So that's something else I'm looking into. And things like the hydrotherapy, I've written them down, hydrotherapy, massage therapy, reflexology, psychology. I know we're on the waiting list for psychology, but it'll only be short term. So I would like Jeff to be able to have some form of kind of counselling, and that will have to be more specific. Somebody that counsels people with aphasia, because obviously they have to know how to communicate. So yeah. The other thing is, someone said about posting, about sending cards and stuff. Absolutely, we've got a PO box address. It's Jeff's Journey, PO Box 263, Benfleet, SS7 9F for Freddie, E for Echo, F for Foxtrot, E for Echo. I should do it properly, shouldn't I? So yeah, if you want to send anything to Jeff, then obviously you can use that address. That's still going, and it will be going for another couple of months, at least. Do I ever sit there and think I wish things were how they used to be? That's a really hard one, isn't it? Because yes, in some ways you do, because obviously I wish I could rewind and none of this happened. I've lost my job, I've lost friends, I've lost my job. I don't go out really unless it's with Jeff. So I've lost a lot, as has Jeff lost a lot. I've lost my husband to a certain extent. So yeah, you can't sit here and say you wouldn't wish things were the same as they used to be, but you kind of make a new normal. It's weird. I can't really, I don't know if you ever come to terms with it, but it's like your past is slowly slipping away, and it's like the more each day goes on, the less you think about the past and you appreciate the present. It's a bizarre feeling, but yeah, I do wish I could turn the clock back. Of course I do, but the way things are now, I get to spend every day with Jeff, whereas previously I spent one day with him and it wouldn't even be one day really, because you're doing jobs around the house. So I get to spend all day every day with him. So from that aspect, yeah, It's amazing, but obviously I wish none of it had ever happened that way. How do I cope? I don't know. Do you know, if you'd have said to me, if you'd have looked at me the first night, second night, probably the first 2 weeks that this happened, you would have found me in a crumpled mess on the floor, just literally sobbing, because it just, how do you ever cope? Or you feel like you're living your worst nightmare. You truly do feel like you're living your worst nightmare. But I very quickly tried to flip it on its head. And I don't know how, but I just knew that Jeff would pull through. I just knew he would. And that's what makes me cope. Seeing him get better and better and better and achieve, even if it's one new word a day, and achieve all the things that he achieves, that's how I cope. That's the answer. And obviously on a practical level, I've got the kids at home as well, so they're very good. They take the dogs. I think I've walked the dogs once in the last 10 months. The kids have done it all the time. So practically, obviously they help quite a lot. And my mum and dad will always help if I need them to, if they can. And the last question was, I saved it till last because I thought it was really funny. I think it was Angela that says, has your love life changed? Oh dear. Well, we're not working from the Kama Sutra book, like we did before. Yeah, right. But no, not really. No, things are the same. Jeff's still, you know, you're a married couple and nothing's changed in that respect. You know, so I don't know what to say about that one. I feel like I could be rude, but I'm not rude to you, Angela, just like I could be really naughty, but I'm not going to. I'll leave it to your imagination. But yeah, let's just say nothing's changed. There you go. I'll leave that to you. So that is the end of our questions. Maybe some people are still leaving some more as I'm doing this, but thank you all. I'm going to post this now so that you can all catch up and see my answers. And I'm going to go and sit in the other room with Jeff because I've not really seen much of him today because he's been sleepy bye-byes. So enjoy the rest of your evening, everybody. Again, thank you so much for supporting us. Your love and support means far more than you will ever know. And let's just hope our family keeps growing and growing and growing, and we're raising awareness all the time. So share this video because I want to annoy a few people and pop up all over their Facebook feed so they end up coming over to see what we're all about. That was funny last week when that happened, or the week before, when someone said, why do you keep popping up on our Facebook? I've had it before. I've had people message me and say, why is your shit all over my Facebook page? And like, you think that I would get upset, but I don't. I just laugh because I think, yes, it's getting there. It's getting there. So this isn't about figures. Well, it kind of is, because the more figures, the more numbers we've got on the page, and the more you guys comment on our posts, the more they reach. So in some ways it is about figures, but not directly about figures. This is about you guys being proactive, sharing our posts. Don't forget, you can become a top fan. The more you react, the more you like, the more you comment, the more you share, you'll get to become a top fan, and they do see extra bits and pieces that you guys don't. So yeah, if you want to be a top fan, that's what you need to do. I don't control the top fans. It's nothing to do with me. Facebook says who's a top fan and who's not. The only thing I can control is who loses a badge, but then as well, if you don't comment for a while, you will lose a badge as well, so you have to kind of keep on top of it. Anyway, that's enough waffling from me. Have a good evening. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going to go and watch last night's Love Island because I didn't catch up last night, and tonight's Love Island as well. So thank you guys. Love you all. Bye.